Hello, beautiful yogis. Prepare to unwind for your practice this evening. This has been one of my most popular classes in person, a yin-like style class. Now, you're not going to need much, so get nice and comfortable. We are going to be holding the poses for a little longer than usual. This is just to help the body unwind and release. And all that you are going to need this evening is, or if you've had a really stressful day, doesn't necessarily have to be in the evening, could be in the afternoon, is a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a cushion or maybe a thick book. And if not, that is totally okay. Or you can also use a pillow or maybe perhaps a folded up blanket. So we're going to start lying down on our backs for the practice. Now, before we begin, please just keep in mind that if you have any injuries or health concerns, where maybe some of the movements don't feel good for you, it is very important that you listen to your body and adjust as you need to. The more comfortable you are, the more your body will relax and the more that the tension releases. Therefore, you are coming back into your balance that works for you. So I don't say this very often, however, this is a really important note to take. Throughout any practice of yoga, listen to your body. It will guide you more than I can possibly do so. And if something feels too much, you can always come out of the pose at any time that you need to. All right, so let's begin. Lying down on the back. Welcome to Unwind Yoga with myself, Theodora. Now, it is actually really cold here in Sydney tonight. So I'm wrapped up and we are going to hold the poses. So if it is cold where you are, just ensure that you have a heater on or some warm clothing. For in this practice, your body will actually drop in temperature because we're not moving as much. All right. Now that I've talked and said my piece, let's begin. Close your eyes. Slow the breath down. Let your legs or feet flop out to the side. Just move your fingers and toes, releasing any energy here. And then slowly come into a still place. Drop those shoulders. Let your lower back relax. And no matter how busy your mind is, bring it to your breath, focusing on a gentle breath in, deep towards the belly, and a nice calming breath out. Slowly letting go. So as you inhale, allow the body to expand to its capacity that it feels comfortable in doing so. And as you exhale, just let the tension and the stress of the day or whatever is going on with you, just allow it to release. Okay, so unwind from the energy of the day, detach, detangle yourself from everything outside of you and out of your control. Your arms and legs relax here. And if there are any noises in the background or in the far distance that you might drift off to, just know that that is outside. It's irrelevant. And as you breathe in and out, your focus will come back to you, to the most important thing right now, which is your physical body, which is your mental body, which is your emotional body. the present moment. So we're grounding our energy. We're relaxing our bodies. And we're connecting to our own rhythm. So as we begin this practice, connect with your rhythm. So we're slowing things down. Nice work. All right, let's wriggle the fingers and toes. Opening your eyes back into the room. Let's begin by bringing the knees to your chest. And hug them in. If it feels good, rock side to side. Otherwise, just hold your pose. And however often you come back to this class, you might do it differently. You might do it exactly the same. You might want to mix it up, and that is completely okay. As I said just earlier, your body will guide you. So as you're breathing with your knees to your chest, keep the shoulders relaxed, soften the jaw. Often at the beginning of the practice, we can hold on to unconscious tension. So as we start to create more and more awareness, we let go of that tension. And then it will become a second nature habit to just let go and release. Okay, so we cannot change what we are not aware of. Okay, so if you are rocking side to side, come back to center. Release your feet down onto the mat. Grab your prop. Okay, so whatever that is. And slide it underneath your sitting bones. So it's underneath your sacrum. So it's not quite underneath your spine. If it is too high, you're going to feel this in your lower back. So we want to feel supported. So there's a few ways that we're going to do this next pose. Option one is to stay here with your knees bent. And this is probably the most supported variation if you have any lower back discomfort. Option two is to maybe take the feet a little further away from you, or you can extend it all the way down. Make any adjustments. Keep the chin tucked in and soften your shoulders. Now your arms can be by your side. They can rest onto the belly. Or if you'd like a little bit more through your arms and shoulders and chest, take the arms wider. And if you feel like you would go for maybe feeling like a bit more of an extension, bring your arms up over your head. Now again, you can do this with any variation of your legs, either feet planted, sliding them away, or full extension with arms and legs. Once you're in your pose, relax into it. And once you find a position that feels best for you, hold and relax. Breathe. Your mind is wandering, bring it back. Take one more breath here. Okay, once you complete your breath, if your legs are extended and arms are extended, bring them back to a neutral position. So arms down by your side, feet grounded, and we're going to slowly bring one leg up to the sky and then bring the other one up. Now, if you prefer, and it feels more comfortable for you, depending on how tight your hamstrings are in your lower back, you might want to shuffle over towards a wall and slide your legs up the wall. Prop here is optional. I've seen people use blocks, people use nothing at all, just bum to the floor, or sometimes the block can be a bit too high for them. They prefer to use a blanket. So once your legs are elevated, they are not working. They should not be shaking. If they are, bend your knees even more. Sometimes holding onto the back of the legs can just help them be supported up. And if you are really tight, then the wall will be actually a better variation for you, just because it takes the pressure off you holding your legs. We don't want the core working here. This is a relaxing pose. So if you've been standing on your feet a lot during the day, if you get poor circulation, if you have any leg issues, whether it's muscular, joint-wise, you have any bone issues or blood circulation that needs to be improved, legs up the wall can feel really good, and it will help you to get to sleep a little more easily. Again, this will depend what time you do your practice and what time you go to bed. Again, relax the shoulders, soften your face, continue to breathe. Slow down your inhale, slow down your exhale. And again, if you're noticing your mind just drift off into one thing or multiple things, slow down the breath. We're going to introduce some ankle rolls. We're going to do 1 foot at a time. So just turning the foot around. Ankle rolls, circle, spread your toes, scrunch them up. Try not to rush through this, really feel the movement. Make sure you do both directions. And once you've done one side, let's make our way over to the other leg. Again, great if you're standing on your feet or you're quite active. You might be an athlete, maybe you're running a lot, you're lifting weights, or you work perhaps in the hospitality industry, or maybe you're a mum, you're a nanny. Go to your work in retail, just wherever it's required that you are standing on your feet all day. Lifting them up will really help, especially as you go through the years. I've noticed that people who stand on their feet a lot, who don't rest at all, You can get quite severe varicose veins, especially in the lower feet, and a lot of swelling as well. So just be mindful that if energy is not flowing, the body will find ways to get things moving. Okay, let's release. Bring those knees towards the chest and then lower the feet down. Let's remove your props if you're using them. If you're using the wall, then just bend your knees and roll to one side. We're going to roll to the side either way. So any side that feels good, just come into a fetal position. Just for a few moments. Nice work. Okay, slowly press yourself up. We're going to come onto all fours for some cat-cows. Now you can move any which way that feels good. So I've taken my knees a little wider than usual. And my toes are tucked under, so I move through the feet. Inhale, chin to sky, maybe move the hips around. Exhale, round. Tuck the chin right in, tailbone tucks under. Again, don't be afraid to move in a way that feels good. And just breathe, rounding your back. Opening up the chest and the chin. Deep breaths. Spread those fingers wide. And then move through the wrists, the palms, the fingers. Yeah, let's do a few more rounds. And if you do find your lower back or any part of your back is quite stiff, cat-cow with a regular practice should begin to loosen up the back muscles. Okay, so you're warming them up as you move. All right, complete your round. So inhale, exhale, and then we're going to come into child's pose. You can take your knees wider if you'd like a little bit more of a hip opener. Make sure your head rests down, if not onto the mat. Again, everyone's body alignment is different. Then maybe take your hands, resting your head onto them. Or you might prefer to use a prop, cushion, a block, or a blanket. Now, sitting all the way back might not work for you. It might be just tight on your hips, maybe your knees. If that is the case, then bring your weight to a position where you're actually able to rest down and relax. The more relaxed you are, and the more comfortable you are, the more the body will release. Make sure the head is resting. The contact with the forehead is important here. And the arms are not active, they're completely floppy. This might be one of my favorite poses to help calm my mind. Continue to breathe deeply, both the inhale and the exhale. Okay, let's take one more deep breath here. And sigh it out. All right, slowly come up out of your little cocoon. Come face down onto your mats. Hands can go anywhere. Bring your heels towards your bottom and gently sway your legs side to side. Just wriggling the hips and the buttocks. So similar rocking motion to little ones when we try to get them to sleep or to calm down. Has the same effect on us. Okay, just moving the hips side to side. Our hips and our pelvic region, it's our safety areas. Okay, so the sacral chakra and the root chakra, safety, security. All right, nice work. Let's bring the legs back to center, lower them down. We're going to come into a bit of a spinal twist. So bring your right leg out to the side into sort of like a 90-degree angle. Lift, this is where your props, if you have them, might come in handy. Lift your body up just enough for your left arm to come across over to your right. So you're gonna take the left arm underneath your right. So where your right leg is, left arm will come across. Now, you might feel like you need a prop underneath your head. Okay, so you're in a bit of a pretzel position here. Okay, so once your left hand and right leg is on the same side, open your right arm up and back. So this is where you will need to listen to your body and adjust. My front knee, top knee, is on the floor, but my right arm is waving up in the air. I feel comfortable like this. However, you might find there is shoulder pain. If this is the case, it is better to have the arm resting onto the ground as opposed to the knee on the floor. Play around with your alignment. Now I have a block underneath my head. Now that I'm in the position, this doesn't feel good for me. Again, find a position that works for you. Relax and breathe. So the bottom leg is extended. If your back and your hips are quite tight, you might need to bend it to give you a bit more support. Not all variations work for everyone. And if you're fighting to stay in the position, then it is going to be quite an uphill battle to try and relax, which defeats the purpose. Find a position that you're comfortable in. Any shoulder pain, you might also need to shorten your right arm. Again, it will depend on your body, how you feel, where your tension is today, and also where your mental state is. If you're not feeling great mentally, your body is often more sensitive to pain. And often we don't realize that until we slow things down we take a moment to connect. And then we start to realize how much stress we're actually holding on to or allowing into our lives. We're unwinding here, not staying wound up. So remember this. Breathing in deeply. Breathing out deeply. And don't be afraid to move in your pose once you're there. What may have worked originally when you've come into it might no longer serve you, so you'll need to shift. Maybe the body's had enough, maybe you need to go deeper, maybe you just need to change your position. Continue to breathe deeply. So we're going to slowly come out of it. You're going to bend your right arm, bring it back to your body center, and slowly roll back down onto your tummy. Again, be gentle here when you hold a pose and your levers are long. It just takes a little while to recalibrate and adjust. So lying face down, relax here. Let things settle. If you feel like it, just wriggle your hips side to side. And then we're going to do one more onto the left side. So take your left knee out to the side. Lift your body enough just to slide your right arm across. And then make your adjustments. Open up the left arm. And again, find your position that works for you. Maybe a block underneath the head, maybe a block underneath the arm, sort of underneath the shoulder if there's any discomfort. Or often what I find people do is they place a block underneath that top knee to give it something to rest on. And as with most spinal twists, we try and turn the head towards the direction we are twisting towards. Now you might not be able to turn the head all the way back to the left, and that's okay. We're not asking you to do that. Maybe your head is just more towards the ceiling. So we just don't want to have the head facing the right because it will drop the shoulder. to the right, and we want to open it up. Make your adjustments, and once you settle, deep breaths in, deep breaths out. So when we slow things down, we become aware of things we didn't realize before. Just like when you're driving, say you're driving normally down the main road, wherever you're going, and you're in a hurry. You rarely take notice of what's on the street, to the people, the stores, or even certain landmarks. When you are not in a hurry, or perhaps you're a passenger in the car, you observe a lot more things. And you could be living or driving down that street for 10 years and you've never noticed this one store that's always been there. It's the same with our bodies. So constantly pushing and forcing and rushing to do things we don't realize where we're actually holding tension, how we might be physically feeling, or how our emotional state might be. Because we're thinking, not feeling. So when you breathe deeply, you bring the unconscious, the unaware, to the conscious mind. And it gives you then an opportunity to address what's been there the whole time. So wherever your mind wanders off to, come back to a slow breath in and slow the breath out. Continue to breathe and continue to make your adjustments as you hold. we are going to come out of this pose a little differently. So first thing we do is we shorten that left arm. We're going to bring the left foot into, behind the right knee, bend, and slowly square your chest towards the ceiling. All right, shorten. So bring your arms back to center, bend your knees. And just relax here for a few moments. Now take your feet towards the edges of the mat, and just as we did lying face down, we sway the legs side to side. We are now swaying the knees side to side. And just moving the hips, the sacrum. Okay, we are almost there. Continue to breathe. Okay, we are going to do one more little pose. So when you're ready, come back to center, bring your knees one more time to the chest, and we're going to do a few hip circles. So you can circle the legs around in the same direction. Again, it doesn't have to be a big circle here. Or alternatively, you can take the legs apart and circle the hips around. Just a few circles each way, and as many as you feel that you would like to do. Circling around. Just keep the lower back pressed into the floor. Okay, all right, once you feel like you're done, your hips feel settled, your back, your shoulders, you're going to come into your final pose, Shavasana. Now, lying down on the back for long periods doesn't always work for everyone. So if that is the case, you can have your knees bent, or you can roll on your left side. So when you're ready, come into your comfortable final position. Make any adjustments. My tights are sliding down. All right, close your eyes. We're going to take a big deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. And one more big deep breath in. And let it go. Now, I encourage you to stay here for a good few minutes. Let everything integrate. Even if you doze off, perfect. Keep your focus on your breath. If your mind goes wandering, just bring it back. Stay as long as you like here, as long as you feel that you need. And then when you are complete with your practice, remember that you are enough, you are amazing, and you are a divine being of light. Always and in always, let your light shine. Be authentically yourself. Thank you for joining me this evening. Until next time, take care. Namaste.